How do you shift from numbing and escaping with food to actually comforting yourself and enjoying life? Just yesterday, a client and I were having this conversation about her desire to eat at night when she wasn't actually physically hungry, and that it was simply a way to escape and a false sense of comfort, more like numb, and what we needed to do about that. What about you? Today I'm going to share my 3 tips to help you shift from numbing and escaping, especially with food, to actually comforting yourself and enjoying life. Welcome, I'm Sherry Traxler with Vireo Life, author of Go Forward, 28 Days to Eat, Move, and Enjoy Life God's Way. This is a little bit of eat and a little bit of enjoy. What my clients' evenings typically look like was she would have dinner, and then 2 or 3, maybe 4 hours later, she would need to be up with something, or just simply would be awake, and just would get the munchies. And she was saying, I'm not physically hungry, but I just want something. And we began to discover, what's going on, what's causing this, what's going on in your day or your week, what's going on in the evening that's causing this, how are you eating related to what you're craving. So we dug a little bit deeper, and the 3 tips I'm going to share with you today are what I shared with her. I have a friend who, it was after a workshop, he became a friend, and at this workshop though, he came up to me and said, I really want to break the habit of nighttime ice cream. I started this nighttime ice cream habit because of escaping and numbing, which totally get, we have all been there, done something like that. And he's like, now, even if I don't need to numb or need to escape, it's just become a habit. Now, before I give you my 3 tips, I want you to not beat yourself up. As I said, we have all done something like this. Myself, I've definitely been known to numb out with TV, and I've also been known to escape with food during my dieting days. Here's the question. What is it costing you? What is it costing you to numb out? What is it costing you to escape with food? Even taking the health question aside, what is it costing you? For me, it was 2 things. Number 1, binging anything didn't solve the problem. It didn't actually comfort me. And especially if I stayed up late to binge eat or to binge watch TV or to binge whatever, I would then lose sleep, and that would make the issue even worse. So it didn't comfort me, but it would ease things just enough that I could keep pushing, which then would lead to a complete and utter collapse. I can't function. The second thing it cost me was I couldn't enjoy the rest of life, because when you numb, when you escape, you don't just numb and escape the stress, the whatever the junk is, you're numbing and escaping the good stuff too. Okay, I promised my 3 tips. Here we go. The first 2 are about what do you do in the moment that you feel like you're needing to numb, that you're needing to escape, but you know that you really want to shift to where you're actually comforting yourself and enjoying life. First is set a timer. Before you start numbing, set a timer with an arranged exit. So here's what I mean by that. If you are planning on having that bowl of ice cream, like the gentleman I was mentioning, have an arranged exit that at the end of that bowl of ice cream, you don't automatically go back to the fridge and get another something, or the pantry to get some cookies with the next bowl of ice cream. You have an arranged exit, whether that is, okay, you tell a family member, a friend, in 20 minutes from now or 30 minutes from now, call me, come in the room, let's chat, something to distract me. Second tip, this one's a little more challenging. It's that kind of that next level, and that is Predetermine the amount of time you're willing to sit in discomfort. This was what got the gentleman free from the ice cream habit. He made a commitment that he was going to allow himself to sit with either the discomfort of the stress or the desire for the ice cream. He was going to sit with that for 10 minutes. At the end of that 10 minutes, if he still wanted it, great, no problem, go have it. But you know what happens? The stress begins to lessen, the desire begins to wane most of the time. Some of the time, absolutely go for it. You feel like you need that to numb out, to escape, do it. But you've given yourself that pause so that it's not automatic. You're not having your brain trained where every time you have the thought, I need to numb out, I feel I need to escape, that you just automatically go do that. My client who was eating at night to escape, to numb, a big thing for her was, okay, I'll have a part of it, but I'm not going to have it in the kitchen. I'm going to have it on the other side of the house so that it breaks up the momentum of numbing and escaping. I actually have to go walk to do that. And of course, setting a 5 or 10 minutes that I'm going to play a puzzle. I'm going to do something to get my mind off of what's going on, and then see if I'm okay without having the food to numb. Tip number 3, this is where it gets good, because now we're talking about not in the moment, but how do we get to a place of comfort and enjoyment and pleasure of life so that we don't feel like we have such a need for the escaping and the numbing. Make a list. Make a list of what will renew, refresh you, what your needs are, and put these in throughout the day. I keep my list by my computer so that if I begin to feel a little irritated or need to have a break, or don't even feel like I need a break, I just know every so often I need a break even if I don't feel like it, I have this handy so that I can go, oh, okay, canoeing, yeah, we're not going to get out and canoe right now. However, let's see, fiction book. Yeah, maybe I could pick up a fiction book that I'm reading, that I've been reading, and read a chapter to just let my mind relax. The key with this is you need comfort, you need pleasure, and putting those things in throughout the day is going to prevent this build-up of stress that you then have to numb and escape from in the evenings or at the end of the week. I also have a white space video that's coming up of what to do in your white space to keep stress under control. So I will link that. But this list is great for me. The other is things that you can put in your environment. In addition to keeping that list at my desk, I also keep items in my environment. This is sand from a really special beach trip. So it's a reminder just visually of the beach trip, but also the sand really feels good to play with. So that is something that happens sometimes too that's pleasurable. So number 1 is set a timer for your numb escape time and arrange your exit. Number 2 is know how long committed beforehand that you're going to just sit with the discomfort. And then third is put that comfort throughout the day and be mindful of it. Don't just do something like playing with the sand and let your mind be elsewhere. Actually let it be pleasurable for you. And if you're going to have food be a part of that, which is totally fine. As intuitive eating, it's perfectly fine to enjoy your food. Absolutely. Is maybe you've got a piece of chocolate or a cookie or whatever it is. And when you have it, don't just mindlessly eat it. Mindfully savor it. Let it give you pleasure. And that's going to keep your pleasure tank built up so you don't have as much need to numb and escape. Now, here's a bonus. This one is super important because we've got all this comforting and pleasure and escaping and numbing, but what if we just got rid of the things that are stressing us? So that's my bonus for you is, managing yourself is super important. But if there may not be, but if there are things that are going on that you can get rid of, but you're holding on to them, you feel responsible for them, you feel like you should be doing this, but it's not really something you have to do and it's stressing you, get rid of it. And that way you don't have as much need to even comfort and pleasure because you're enjoying more of life because things aren't stressing you out. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to subscribe, click that notification bell, and until next time, find your unique path and fulfill your potential.